Lenovo hasn't utilized ultra-low intensity creating processor to get this going, highlighting a similar 11th era Intel Center i5 and i7 chips as the greater models, and can in any case last an entire day of light work off a solitary charge. It's noteworthy stuff. However, there are a few compromises, which was continuously going to be the situation in a laptop, with both ultra-low weight and a super thin edge. Is it adequate to make our best laptop list? Design: sub 1 kilogram weight. Unfortunate inflexibility on its underside. Magnesium compound and carbon fiber construct. My most memorable suspicion on opening up and utilizing the Lenovo Yoga Thin 7i Carbon was that it's a plastic laptop. Plastic isn't captivating. However, it tends to be lightweight and intense when utilized appropriately. Nonetheless, this is certainly not a plastic laptop. The Lenovo Yoga Thin 7i Carbon's top is carbon fiber built up, and the keyboard plate and underside are covered magnesium amalgams. Lenovo has utilized the great stuff, which is perfect to find in a laptop that, while not modest, isn't strangely costly by the same token. In any case, on getting the laptop, you're probably going to see the one piece of the Lenovo Yoga Thin 7i Carbon's design that doesn't feel so hot. Lift it up, and you might feel the baseboard of the Lenovo Yoga Thin 7i Carbon twist upwards, stirring things up around town above with a vexing snap. Lenovo says the boards have been built up with swaggers, yet these don't seem to prevent the baseboard from being unreasonably adaptable for solace. Fortunately, different pieces of the Lenovo Yoga Thin 7i Carbon appear to be a lot more grounded. There's negligible flex to the display, despite the fact that the cover isn't made of the glass you'd find in a MacBook or touchscreen laptop. What's more, flex isn't an issue where the keyboard is concerned. By the same token, Lenovo has spent the weight where it makes the biggest difference, yet that shaky base plate doesn't have a decent first effect. Lenovo says the Lenovo Yoga Thin 7i Carbon gauges under 1 kilogram. It times in at 974 grams on my scales. It's a barely their laptop, ideal for continuous flyers and the individuals who need to heft their PC around with them day in and day out. Lenovo says the Lenovo Yoga Thin 7i Carbon offers military-grade durability as well. The above alludes to 9 tests that the organization has embraced, including drops from a 76 centimeters level, dust opposition, and the laptop's capacity to endure outrageous temperatures. They don't cover the full MIL 810G program. Obviously, barely enough to console purchasers that this laptop is sturdier than its sub 1 kilogram weight suggests. The Lenovo Yoga Thin 7i Carbon is definitely not a half-breed laptop. However, it has a non-shaky 180-degree pivot. I took out this survey on the Lenovo Yoga Thin 7i Carbon keyboard cheerfully enough. Composing feels quick, and the key criticism is fine. However, could I need to compose away on it for 8+ hours daily? Probably not. A slimline keyboard checks out in a super ultra compact laptop like this. However, that doesn't mean I need to cherish it, with the shallow presses neglecting to offer that delightful clickety-clatter feel of different keyboards. The keys are lit by a 2-stage white backdrop illumination, and there's likewise a flawless auto mode that utilizes the webcam to judge whether it's required. The super smooth glass touchpad experience is none of the keyboard's compromises, nor is it excessively little. Like different laptops in this 7 series range, the touchpad is somewhat stronger than some, yet it gets approval. Screen brilliance is just barely sufficient. Matte completion, high goal contrasted with rivals. The needs of common sense and the way of life tasteful crash in the Lenovo Yoga Thin 7i Carbon. And on the display front, reasonableness has won out. The display here has a matte completion. It's anything but a touchscreen. I involved it for a couple of hours out in brilliant daylight and, dissimilar to a polished laptop, encountered no issues with my face reflecting back at me. The Lenovo Yoga Thin 7i Carbon actually needs this matte completion in light of the fact that while its most extreme splendor of 326 nits is alright, it wouldn't exactly be sufficiently high to fulfill in a PC made for use here, there and all over. Note that a matte display won't ever hotshot tone as well as a shiny one. However, the Carbon conveys great variety inclusion. As indicated by my colorimeter, it hits 99.8% of sRGB, 84.5% of DCI-P3, and 78.2% of Adobe RGB. These variety standard outcomes let us know that while this is definitely not an expansive variety screen, nor is it undersaturated. As a matter of fact, its figures are superior to those of either the Yoga 6 or Yoga 7 Thin Pro, albeit, face-to-face, the screen on both those models looks a little more extravagant because of the reflexive completion. Difference of 1480 to 1 is perfect for an IPS LCD board as well. Where the Carbon screen truly sparkles, however, is its goal. It's a 2560x1660, 1610 pixel board, which can convey far more prominent sharpness and perfection over an exemplary 1080p screen. The refresh rate is a standard 60 Hz. However, there appears to be little motivation to utilize a higher refresh rate in a laptop like this, since it would just deplete the battery at a lot quicker pace. Performance: strong Intel 11th Gen processors, some reasonable choking of performance, perceptible fan clamor under tension. On paper, the Lenovo Yoga Thin 7i Carbon is however strong and fit as laptops that seem to be half heavier and a couple of millimeters thicker as well. The standard models accompanies an Intel Center i5-1135G7, 8GB of RAM, and a 256GB SSD, and costs £900. I was sent the redesigned model by Lenovo, which includes an Intel Center i7-1165G7, 16GB of RAM, and a 512GB SSD, which costs £1,000. That extra £100 is a fair redesign cost, taking into account Microsoft requests £380 just to knock up the central processor and RAM by a similar sum in the Surface Laptop 4. Improper battery duration: as long as 10-hour battery. All USB-C associations. The Lenovo Yoga Thin 7i Carbon's battery duration has been an unexpected, yet wonderful treat. In the PC Mark 10 current office battery benchmark, it endured 9 44 minutes at 150 nit display brilliance. With a dimmer display setting, you might inspire it to get around the 10-hour mark. I likewise watched out for the battery level while working outside with the display max to perceive how long this laptop would endure. The Carbon lost 17% in an hour and a half, proposing it could make just shy of 9 hours. Adjusting the last subtleties. The Carbon has a 720p webcam that produces an unfortunate picture in great lighting and a quite horrendous picture in low lighting. It's your standard Windows webcam. There are 3 USB-C ports, however no USB-S, probably in light of the fact that Lenovo would battle to squeeze the connector into the Titan base. In fact, 2 of the previous are super quick Thunderclap 440 Gbps attachments. The other one is a 5 Gbps port, reflecting what you get in the other Yoga laptops at this level. There's a headphone jack as well. Finally, thanks for watching this video. See you again next time.